All right. Hey, everyone. Before I start off, I just wanted to talk about why am I doing the presentation that I'm doing today. So I'm aware that there's a lot of great work that's going on that all of us are involved in for our respective stage groups and even for cross-stage efforts. And it is always very thrilling to get a walkthrough of the process and approach and get inspired. But today, however, I would be talking about something that doesn't directly relate to the work that I'm doing for CI, but it's kind of a side effort. And I'm hoping that you would find it equally interesting and valuable. All right. So hi again. I'm Veethika, and I'm a senior product designer for Verify CI. Um, and today, the project that I'm going to talk about, let's call it GitLab Values Illustrated. All right. So just to set the ground, I'll be briefly talking about the values that we have listed in the GitLab handbook that shortens to credit. So we have 6 core values in place, and they are collaboration, results, efficiency, diversity, inclusion, and belonging, iteration, transparency, respectively. And I mean, just to give an idea about what these values are. Now, values at GitLab, they kind of define the tenets and tactics so that we are able to impactfully, meaningfully, and sustainably make our contributions, and particularly in an all remote setting or environment. And they have been very carefully put in place, keeping in mind a handful of dynamics which are at play when it comes to professional interaction in a remote setting. Additionally, there's another point that I want to put a little emphasis on, and that is the fact that since these values are so fundamental in nature, there could very well be a varying set of interpretations to the same. And they could be based on the context or even the perspective of the person who's looking at them. All right. So, I mean, those were the values, right? But why is it that we are required to keep on reiterating these values like again and again in everything we do, our day-to-day actions? So, why is it that we are required to do that? Now, I have a bunch of points listed, but I would try to put them in 2 different buckets that, and those are like, why do we have to communicate it repeatedly internally? And then why do we have to relate outside the organization as well? So first of all, values are tricky. And if only a handful of people inside the organization, or maybe a small percentage of people in an organization, they're adhering to it, then there's hardly any chance of making a big impact. So to see the intended impact of a value in place, it is very important that it is practiced by all. So it is never too much. Values can only shape an organization if they're respected and lived by each team member. So that's one of the reasons. Now, the other reason is that, I mean, there's as much to learn as there is to unlearn. So each one of us, like everyone here who's in this call, is not in this call, we have had some sort of past experience, and we have a certain way of doing things based on what kind of experiences we have had. Now, I mean, what reiterating the values, what they do is they help us gradually unlearn those practices that we have inculcated over time, and gradually also learn to operate in a different way, which is the GitLab way. Now, these were the 2 points which kind of explained why we have to repeat these things internally, but why externally? Now, a good case for that is these values shouldn't be a surprise. So, I mean, if we talk about a use case that we hire people from the outside, right? So the more transparent we are in our communication in establishing the image of GitLab, the more are the chances of attracting the right people to GitLab. And it's a win for all. And besides all of that, besides all of these listed factors, we have a great culture in place, and we should never hesitate from showing it off from time to time. And the project that is in focus today that I would be talking about is this. It's something that I started off a few weeks back and have been weekly updating with new illustrations. Now, this project consists of illustrations that represent the essence of each of GitLab's value, but with a perspective and style which is very personal to me. So it is very much like looking at them through my lens. Now, it's very interesting about how this whole thing started. I mean, the story in itself is a representation of so many of our values, iteration being one of them. So a few months back, this was a conversation that we had on Slack where Michael suggested that there should be like a representation, thumbnails available for each of the values that Nick could use in his project. And I jumped to the opportunity because I love illustrating and I love drawing. So I thought this could be a really good opportunity for me to just do something creative. And when I mean, it took a lot of time for me to act on it, honestly. So when I first posted the first drawing that I made as a part of this small personal project, it got a good response, but it also did something else. I mean, I got a few suggestions that why don't you make it a GitLab project and add all of those together? And of course, I loved the idea, and that's what I ended up doing. Now, I can also show a glimpse of the project in action. So this is how it looks like now, and it has gone many, many changes. So I hope nobody looks at the history of this because, I mean, it started off as something and it has ended up as something. But this is the structure that I'm currently following, and it still needs some changes, but I would get to that in a short time. All right. Now, this is the current status. I mean, I have these 4 values listed in the table and have some illustrations for them. And for each of these sections, what you would find is there are images adapted to different requirements. Like you would find Zoom backgrounds, you would find banners, and maybe some color variations if I have a lot of time. And I mean, they are adapted to different usages. So, and I have also mentioned in this project that in case you're looking to adapt these images for a particular requirement, you can just open an issue and I'll get to it. But this was the vision that I had for this project so far, but is that how it is going to be forever? So what is exactly next for this project? So what is the next iteration? All right. So I'm aware that this started off as something, but now the point that I want to come to is let's collaborate. So going ahead, this no longer should be positioned as a personal project, but a collaborative one. And I know that we have many creators, many illustrators in our team, and we could really turn this into a very vibrant repository together. So the first step that I have taken to facilitate or enable this is I have put in place a section that kind of talks about how the contribution could be made. And I have also like put some work around with the licensing. So right now this is licensed under CC0. And I mean, you can go and read it up using this link. CC0 is something that falls very close to public domain, if not public domain. And that means there's no legal requirement for accreditation, for attributing, right? But it's always a good practice because if people are contributing, they would like it to be libre and not gratis. I mean, they would like to be acknowledged for it. So it would be great, like even by contributing, if you could just take a small effort and put an attribution text in this format. So whoever is using it could just copy and paste it at the place wherever they're using the artworks. It would be beneficial for both the sides. So this is a small step, and that's something that came to my mind. But of course, there's a lot that could be done with this project. And I'm just curious to see the ideas that could come pouring in. And we have had our first issue opened by none other than Nick. So thank you so much, Nick, for opening the first issue in this project. And let's get to this as soon as we can. And I'm hoping for a lot many more participants to be like contributing and working with this project. So that's how I see it going. All right, so I mean to close it. This is a suggestion that was given by Nadia to put this particular background as the closing slide. So thank you so much for that, Nadia. And I'm waiting to see more pads and iPads in action and very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vitka. This is awesome. I've been following the conversation on Twitter and waiting for the releases every week of the illustrations. So I'm really happy to see the results and see how this project is evolving. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I think we have a couple of questions in the agenda. Alexis, you put a read only, but I'm going to voice your comments. So please update the handbook with only Vitka illustrations. I also want to give a +1 to that. And Alexis, if you're still in the call, would you like to voice your question?
I am here. Yeah, I'm just wondering, how are we, or are we envisioning working with like brand and marketing designers? I know like Luke loves this kind of stuff. So I'm just wondering what your vision is there.
I mean, so far I don't have any vision, and that's why I want more and more people to get involved with this, because my vision is limited. And when more people are going to take part in this project, the scope is only going to get bigger, and that's what I really want to see.
That's awesome. Also, I just want to say, like, I love that even the tables in this project are super cute. So awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I think it would be also interesting to add this to the Dribbble account, right? We haven't been updating that, but I know that the marketing folks are still using that. So maybe something to look into.
Great. That's a great idea. Thanks, Hayana. And thank you so much, Hayana, for this idea, because I was really struggling with what should I present. And there was so many work, so much going on in CI, which was in process and not conclusive. And thanks for suggesting this.
Of course. And Daniel Fosco, do you want to voice your question?
Yeah, I think it's similar to the question Alexis made, perhaps. But it might be a big step. But do you have any references on illustrations for use on the internal product? Because it would be great to have these efforts also directed to that, because these illustrations are so good. It would be great to have some of these in the product as well.
Yeah, I'm absolutely open to suggestions, because I don't have very concrete idea about how to go about that right now.
Yeah, Daniel, we have the brand and the marketing department. They usually create some of these illustrations for us. So I think in this handbook page here that is already in the doc, you can read more about how to request and design requirements for visuals outside the scope of UX.
Right, that makes sense.
We also have in Pajamas an illustration page that has a bunch of like guidelines for creating illustrations specifically for the product. So, you know, we could look at somehow combining the two where it makes sense.
Yeah. So I would add those in the description itself, so that whenever somebody wants to participate, they could also look at those guidelines, which are already in place. Thanks. Right.
Any other questions? Right, no. And I'll stop the recording. Thank you, Vitika.
Thank you so much.